jamming. So how you doing? I'm John Skippy Lemcool. Welcome to a new live stream. Yeah. By the way, this is an original eMagic Logic Pro X hat from 25 years ago. OG, man. Oh. Hi. Okay. Welcome. It's Memorial Day weekend. I have a huge sale going on at the website. So if you need inspiring sounds, this is the best sale I've had of the year. I haven't hit 40% this year. So buy anything, it's 40% off. Everything that's available on the site. So go save money. It's only this weekend, actually till Monday night, because Memorial Day is Monday. But I want to say that, I'll say that probably a couple of times, because promotion is the ocean that we swim in. Anyway, I hope you're well. I'm John Skippy Lemcool. We have a new library that I love these grooves, and they're useful for a lot of things. If you don't do urban pop, hip hop, rap stuff, trust me, these sounds will still make you really excited. I will show you in a minute what I mean, because I'm not an urban artist per se. I don't rap. I can't do that kind of stuff. I know how to make the sounds and make it punchy and rip your head off and make it funky and bounce and all that stuff. But you're not going to see me doing the rap and stuff to these guys. But a lot of these also were done by another artist, Nato Fields, that lives down in Los Angeles. So we teamed up on this to I love this one right here. Check that. Now this library is coming out in 3 flavors, and actually I think more flavors will be added to this as we cruise along. I'm working on an OMG version for Omnisphere, which is going to be really fun. And I'm looking at native support for a couple of our DAW sequencers like Logic and Live and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. Welcome everybody. Thanks, Bruce. Good to see all these guys. Big E is here at the start of a live stream. He's not having to watch it after the fact, which is cool. Hi, Marcel. All the guys are here. Harold, welcome. Hope your heart's doing good, brother. So let's see, where do we start? So there's 3 versions of this library. There's BreakTweaker. There is a version that will be released on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Also for Supermacho drums, which has the drum samples that are the BreakTweaker groove, but they're buried into a kit, which has every single note across the keyboard with really tasty. And then there's MIDI files that I've made, and I'm going to be making more MIDI files. This whole weekend is like nothing but MIDI files, so that I've got MIDI files for all of the grooves and variations and all sorts of stuff. We're up to 81 MIDI files so far, and we'll be making more before Tuesday. And so if you have Supermacho drums, which you must have as a requirement, this will be an add-on drum kit library that let's see if we hit this button here. They show up over here. You got the Supermacho drums, Mega Macho drums, the Shadow kits. You got the Radical sound effect kit that we released at one point not that long ago. And then Urban drums here. And here's all of the kits. 45 new drum kits for Supermacho drums. And they come with MIDI files that will be showing up inside of the Groove Player. We'll set that all up. There's instructions that will come that will explain how to do that. So that's version 2 of this library. The 3rd version is Serum, which you might go, huh? Why Serum? Serum can't play grooves. It can't play grooves, but if you've noticed, there's basses and there's synth sounds galore in this library. All sorts of really cool. Let's see if I get here to. This has this really cool special effects sound, right? And I was like, you know, it'd be really cool to put these into something. So I quickly popped them into Serum, and it's really, really cool. So, and I made additional patches for it. So here's the Serum library. Urban has a whole lot of stuff. We'll go through this a little bit too. That's on the agenda to show you. And then on top of this, I've got some customer questions. A couple good ones. One of them asking about super macho drums, and one asking about someone that's in their 70s that's just getting started. And so many of you guys were in this place at one point. So the Guru Brotherhood, we should make t-shirts. You guys are cracking me up. Everybody started at ground zero at one point, right? So this guy sounds like a really lovely gentleman just starting out, and he had some questions. So we're going to take a look, because I did some searching on YouTube and I didn't really see anything that really covered this. So the Guru Brotherhood Sisterhood. Yeah, totally agree. But before we do this stuff, before I show you that, let me show you something. So like I said, I am not an urban artist, but I do like to write music, and I have been known to be funky from time to time. And so I have made a little demo. This isn't released yet, that uses super macho drums. I'll show you the sounds first, and then I'll play it. So the super macho drums kit is going to be doing, I'm going to play you the groove so you can hear what it sounds like. Oh, wait, wrong button. This is called Paranoid. Now, if we were to play this inside of BreakTweaker, it would be very similar sounding, but a little bit more complex maybe. Let's see, go over here, go to Paranoid. That's the original. But I doctored it up for this demo. We got the wrong sound for that. I might have to fix that. I like it for this demo, but that kit's supposed to have a clap instead of a snare on that. No, it's got that instead of a clap. So I've got that groove, but it's been modded, you know. That's the basics of it. Then on top of that, I am using a Serum patch called Flutie Pie. The opening of the track is with a huge Del Norte multi from Omnisphere called Monumentus. Right? And then on top of that, I've added a couple extra little tasty things. The Logic Pro X clav. And a favorite from many, many years ago that is still a kick butt bass. And that's the Marcus Miller Trilogy, not Trillion, it's from Trilogy, Modern Funk Bass. And I love it so much, I'm actually going to jam with that in this track. So gotta crank up my headphones. This will be fun. So you ready? So this is a demo. It's not totally done and it's not perfect, but it's something showing these drum sounds in a different context than if you go to Spotify to the top 50 hits right now, like more than like 3/4 of the hits are urban sound, groove oriented, really cool tracks. And so these sounds are the sounds that are hot right now in pop radio, and they're useful in all sorts of different things. So this is showing you a different context. I play this for my daughter. She goes, "Dad, that has nothing to do with urban." So just to make it a little paragraphed, okay? So here we go. Might not be urban, but it's funky, right? There you go. So anyway, the sounds work really cool. And that's just one drum kit from Super Macho Drums doing everything. So there's times where it's doing a tambourine and all sorts of stuff in here. Fills. It's all Super Macho Drums. And all OMG Urban. Plus the stuff that's in the kit for Super Macho Drums. More than tambourine and stuff like that. So anyway, not Jocko. This is Marcus, man. We're talking Mark. I'm channeling my inner Marcus Miller. If you don't know Marcus Miller's music, go get like, oh gosh, a couple of his records. I can't remember the name of the title, but it's black and white. He's got this cool hat on. And man, the grooves are just... Play it again. You'll just have to go back and watch the video once it's up on the live stream. But glad you like it. So anyway, so these sounds can go all over the place. They're not just for, 22-year-olds that are rapping about their lives and stuff like that, which is great. And I love that music. And my daughter, that's what we play when we go to school. It's good stuff, but I'm a 54-year-old guy, so I don't quite associate with that, but I associate with the sounds, with the grooves, and so we got all sorts of stuff that we've put together. Let me show you the 45 grooves really quick. We'll just play them really fast. It doesn't take that long. Now the way BreakTweaker works, down here are the... Let me show you the comparison because it's kind of interesting. Let's call this up, and then let's also call it up in a Super Macho Drums so you can hear the difference. There's a really interesting thing. The way that BreakTweaker marries audio is different than the way that Kontakt does. I kind of like Kontakt's sound a little better. It's far more flexible. So if you don't have Super Macho Drums, it's on sale on my website this weekend. It's an insane price for thousands of drum sounds, tons of drum kits. It goes up. I'll probably show that a little bit today too. But if we go urban, 12 a.m., and then what you would do in your sequencer is you'd call up the K5 folder and you would say 12 a.m. And I put the tempo name here so you can drag that over here. And then I'm going to move these around a little bit so I can navigate to place this. Place this right here and say 70. Let's take all this stuff here and just mute it so that it's a little bit more raw. Compared. Let's turn this up so it's at 0. Now, if I wanted to be fair, I would need to delete the sub, and the main groove is not there. So go to the sub, delete it. So that's Kontakt. And that's BreakTweaker. So Kontakt has like a brightness to it. I actually have had to turn things down and filter things a little bit as we go. The nice thing with Super Macho is you can go to the hi-hat, you can filter it all you want. Here you have EQ, you have transients, all sorts of things to do to the sounds. To this clap, turn it down a little bit in volume. That's Super Macho Drums. And then, so they have two different personalities. They are not the same personality at all. They are very unique. So that's why I'm doing them in multiple formats, because some of you might have Kontakt 5, and so maybe getting Super Macho Drums and then getting this library is a better way, because now you have a whole bunch of drum kits beyond these versus having to pick up BreakTweaker. I talked to Isotope. They were not able to provide any sorts of discount sales or promotions to me at all. So it's up to you to just buy it for full price at the moment if you want it. All Stars, let's do another comparison. Cancel. Let's go All Stars. Here's what it sounds like inside. Oh wait, I got to do this real quick. Go over here, and this is the BreakTweaker folder. Come on, where is this? I'm not going to do this for everyone because we'll be here all day, but just to give you an idea of the taste. The other thing that's interesting, let's do this. These guys work at all sorts of different tempos beyond what you see here too. So here's BreakTweaker. Sounds great. And then we're at 95 beats per minute. So let's go to 95 beats per minute. And here's context. And I don't have the ability to change pitch on subs. I wanted to show you something kind of cool. One thing that is kind of a secret weapon of Super Macho drums that a lot of you that even have it don't know about, and that's this solo transpose button. And I'm trying to get to a groove where that will be handy. So let me find one over here. Like this one, okay? Here's one called Another One. So let's get to Another One. And let's call it the MIDI file for Another One. Okay, and place it in here. And it's 80 beats per minute. Okay, so it sounds a little different, right? Because I don't have the boom, 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 and I'm not playing the this sound. So I don't know if you know this, but this is kind of cool. So we're going to call down, actually let's do it this way to make it really easy. If you go under track to other, you can say new track with duplicate settings. And this will make a new instance of the plugin, set it to the same kit, everything. So I'm going to take this kit. This first one's playing. Let's just loop it. So we go turn on repeat. And then the second one, let's call it up. And watch this. When there's 3 modes in the play mode. There's global, where whatever you change will change everything. So if I want to have everything panned, well, I don't want to touch anything because I'll break it. But if I want to have this reverb up on everything, just doing that, now I have reverb on everything. This is off. If I take a note and play it, and then hit solo transpose, it makes just that one sound play across the keyboard. So now, so if I wanted to do this 2 times, I could go. Okay, so I got this jam, and then if I go up here and I go track, other, duplicate it again, and let's go to the groove, and let's get rid of the sub from here, okay, and go down here and call it up, play the sub. Oh, we've got to go back to the kit, and now hit sub, hit a solo transpose in. And now I can find the notes and play it. I could play even more than what you can do in BreakTweaker because it's on the keyboard, right? So. So I have a jam that I've made. Now for quantizing, I'm going to use, I don't know if you noticed this, but I have this folder right here with all these MIDI files of MPC, of loops that I've pulled out, of all sorts of things. I have turned these all into groove templates because when I'm doing groove, I want to have my quantize list have a ton of groove parameters to work with. So I'm going to take these 2 guys And I'm going to go down here. I'm going to do a video in the future teaching you guys how to do this type of stuff. Let's say 808 straight. So this is what it sounds like with 3 kits and a little bit more work, but I have a more complete song with little chord change here, little twist here. Here's what it sounds like in BreakTweaker. Hear how everything's kind of masked in a way? It still sounds great. But when you have Contact 5 just has a superior playback engine. I mean, there's no doubt. It's just right, really clear. And so anyway, that's how you get stuff like this from these kits. And it's very easy to do that. The other way to do this would be to take this part and mute it and call up Serum. And inside of Serum, you have all of these sounds that you're hearing, those subs. All those things are patches in here. So we've got all the subs, so you can, and they're even bigger than Contact. I mean, it's monster. It's kind of the reason why I'm playing to the strength of each plugin. Okay. So you hear that. Now, if we were to go to, I think it's Woody. No. Okay, you get to hear some of the sounds from. Is it 1? Did I just miss it? Oh, where did I put it then? I put it somewhere else. There's a lot other plucks here. So there's, wait a minute. There it is. So if we were to compare, just for fun, if you compare the sound of the pluck here and here's how it sounds in Serum. Yeah, I can't play. But you hear the difference. The sample playback engine in Serum is not to be sneezed at. So to have all of these really cool, huge subs, all the hits, and ocean waves with processing. I mean, some of these subs, if you want sub, take these guys out, have this play, turn off solo. You get these rattly cool things. You can make it slippery by adding portamento. So that's the reason there's 3 versions of the library. There's strengths that different plugins will bring out from the different samples that NATO and myself created. And so I was like, what the heck? You know, why not make this a little bit more than just, both samples sound almost identical to me. Over YouTube, you might hear it as an identical. There's a clarity thing and there's a little high end thing that definitely sounds noticeable here in my room without live stream and sample rate, and you're hearing all sorts of things done to the audio. There's definitely it's very similar. I mean, it's the same sample. So, but it's subtle, but at the same time, it was enough of a difference. And some people just want the keyboard sounds. They have their drums coming from other places and they don't need grooves. So then the Serum library will be great. I'm not making these expensive. I'm going to make them really affordably reasonable because I think that it's kind of cool to have lots of versions of things depending on what you use and what you want to use, okay? Yep. Don't get your keys. Yes, Serum sounds better. And now I could hear that sub. Yeah. If you're using computer speakers and stuff, you won't hear. Yeah, the sub low frequency in Serum is like, you cannot compare it to anything else. The math that they did that makes the high end super clear, it does beautiful things to the low end as well. That's why you see so many kicks and subs and. I mean, truly ground rattling. It's beautiful stuff. And then there's a couple. I did one here. Where is it? This unison one is cool. Just kind of rolls around. Anyway, so there's 3 versions of the library that will be out, and again, I wish I could have gotten them all done, but I can only do so much. I wasn't able to get done. The Omnisphere version is in kits, and I already have grooves rolling, but I'm going to take some time to keep working on that. So that probably won't come back until I get back from my vacation in June. We have kind of a special library coming out in 2 weeks, maybe a little bit less, for Omnisphere. So there is something coming for Omnisphere that I don't even know what to say. Just you guys have asked a number of times about the ESC library, and if they would do something, well, they've got something coming that's really cool. Yeah, let me play it one more time for those of you that are just getting your speakers and headphones so you can. So this is. Let's play the original sample. I think was right here. And it's here. So, okay, so here is. And I could go to Serum. Let's, to be fair, even if I was to go in and turn off the filter. Now, and let's check Serum real quick to make sure that it doesn't have EQ, because it's possible that we're. Yeah, we were boosting a bit. So, okay, let's do more of a fair test. EQ's off. Let's make sure this has no filtering, because sometimes we use a filter here. No filtering here. Okay, very similar. There's still a little bit more high-end transient I hear. But this has a limiter. Got to remember, I have different tricks going on in different plugins. There's a limiter right here we could turn off. Let's do this. We've come this far. Let's go all the way. So we're going to go here and say just stereo. So it's not going through. Hear the limiter. And let's make sure on Serum, if we're going to do this. This is like when I'm doing camera gear comparisons. I want to make sure that there's no EQ, no compression. Turn the EQ off, chorus off. Let's kill everything. So it's just. You can still hear a little bit more high-end clarity. Can you hear that? So I stand by my original claim. Even with EQ off and everything bypassed, you still hear a little bit of a better resolution playback, even inside of Serum. That's one, I mean, one thing you have to realize is Contact is designed so it can play back hundreds of notes of polyphony and not choke your computer. Serum, that priority was not in place. So if you play like 12 notes of polyphony, even with a sample, you could take your computer to be pretty heavy hit. If you had it to be 32 notes, I don't want to get too bogged down with this, but playing that's not bad. I mean, he's optimized it. I've complained to Steve quite a few times, dude, got to get that to be more efficient. And I guess maybe they've made it more efficient because. But anyway, it's good enough to use. We have quite a few libraries for Serum. All the Mega Magic Dreams. I put them here because the fidelity is so great. A lot of these sounds just. But one thing you have to know is Serum. If you want to use it with the sample engine playback, you need to go to global and turn this parameter off. It by default has this limit polyphony to one note. So when you play a note and you play a new note, it cancels it. That's one reason that it saves polyphony. If you turn this off, it's going to use more polyphony because notes will ring out. But now it plays like other things play that you expect to be able to have it ringing on the existing notes before they go canceled off. So that's one of the preferences. And when you save it, I believe it saves it. Let's see if we do this. We go option save. No, it's not per patch. So that means you got to remember to do it when you call it up the first time. I wish it was. But, oh, you can do this. You can turn that off and hit update your preferences. The little floppy disk right here should update the preferences so that it remembers that from now on. Okay? So just so you know, that's one of the things that Serum does to work on polyphony to make it more efficient, is to do that type of stuff. Okay, so we've done our comparisons. I've shown you Serum. I've shown you the fidelity. Let's go back to BreakTweaker, play some more of the grooves. There's 45. I'm going to do an individual patch walkthrough for these when they come out. And you have, let's see if I do this. I need to get so you can see a keyboard. Oh, you know what I did? I think I can use the step, event, float. Oh, not the event float, but the step input keyboard. No. How about the keyboard? Show keyboard. Yeah, here. So it doesn't show it very well. I wish it should. But see this. So you have these notes for the variations, breakdowns. Here, the F sharp is no snare. And we take out the melody stuff for the most part. Sometimes I keep subs, sometimes I don't. G is no kick. G sharp is always just the high energy stuff. And then A is just the snare. And to make it more like a sample, a lot of times, this doesn't have it, but I like layer a hi-hat sometimes with these. So you can do the musical things with these beyond just being, don't treat it like a loop. There's more to it than that here. And D is a variation groove. A little bit more different, but it stays in the pocket. And then C sharp, the one in between, is the one with no pitch. But I let subs live on this sometimes. If you want, you can hit mute. And that gets rid of the sub where it says boom. Right? By the way, this piano sound right here is so cool. Check this out. Inside of Serum, that sound is just awesome. So it's a hit piano dissonance. That's really cool down here. Like really murky. Off you go. So there's that kind of stuff to play with. In Serum, it's cool to have it be more than just the one sample that you have inside a BreakTweaker. Okay. Sorry for my, I go off on little tirades and you just got to deal with it. So here's Energy. Okay. Get it? So these are fun to play with. You can do so much with them. Yes, I will be bundling all three for sure. Hey, Stella. Stella has a question we're going to get to in a little bit. So we're playing with the BreakTweaker version now. I'll show you the contact a little bit more in a minute. I love this fill rate. Isn't that cool? Listen to this. I'll just solo this. That's one event with 151 repeats. And then another repeat with 37 repeats with a different, they're both using blipped, but different tempos. Yeah, BreakTweaker is so fun because if you like this snare, right? Do this. Put an event in front of it and make it like 29 and make the tension so it goes from fast to slow and apply a fade in. And then turn it down. And then you have curve. And curve says, if it's this way, you hear less at the beginning, and then it focuses more on the end. And if you're here at the lower negative values, then you hear it more at the beginning, and then it goes out. So let's do it the other way, so you barely hear it until it's like a flam. And then you can custom it to taste. You know? So. The sounds are so fresh, man. And if you want to do busy hi-hat stuff, say, well, here, let's undo that. Let's say we want this to be not quite so busy. So you hold down the command key to get to increments. So it's like 6. Let's make this be like 6. And let's make this, unfortunately, you have to hold down the command key to get 2. That'd have to be 3, so it's a triplet field. Little twerked. And if you want to twerk it even more, you go to the effects and you can add all these effects to each of these events. But what you can do is pretty crazy. So we say aliasing and have 2 aliasing, but have this aliasing be at a different value. Oh, we need to have it higher. Oh, wrong way. Oh, tone up. So you can do all sorts of things to the sound. Subtle or even more extreme if you want. In the 6. And this has that sound. Everybody needs that gang of guys going, hey, hey. Okay, island exec. Some don't have bass. As far as a sub, just right to this. I mean, really fun. Okay. Like, whoa. Loco. Oh, this is cool. That's one of the fills. Okay, man up. Is there a way to randomize those repeats from measure to measure or beat to beat? No, it doesn't have randomizing facilities. You have to program it, but you have 24 notes to program. One thing I also wanted to show, and I'm going to do this in a short, I take all these ideas, I'm going to start condensing them into little like 2-minute videos. Say you take a groove and you like the sounds, but the groove isn't really killing you, right? If you go down here to pattern, you got to right click in here, say pattern copy, and then these pattern, the patterns are called up chromatically from C. B is the last one for 24. So you can go to one of these that's not assigned, an octave up, and go command paste. And then say, I don't like the organ part, so I'm going to go over here to the track and delete that. And I'm going to add hi-hats. Right? Make my own pattern, you know? Maybe I want to do like a more busy. There's cool facilities, so you could take these guys and by holding down shift, should be able to select all of them, or is it command? Command. Oh, come on. It's letting me down. It's not letting me select. I was going to try to show you copy paste, but my keyboard is not cooperating. I don't know why it's not. I guess I was doing volume or something, so I need to see that. So if I select that and then command copy, now I can just go to this place and then say paste and so you can do all sorts of stuff like this just by copying the pattern from here, pasting it to a new location. You have the library comes with 10 patterns per groove. There's 14 empty spaces, so you can make your own groove. And if I go up here and I say save and it says wait, this exists, overwrite. If I say yes, then it will modify it and give it this groove with these additional patterns that I've created in it. I could say cancel. I could also go save and then go like never and then put my initials at the end and save that. So it saves it as a new groove, but now it's got my initials, so I know that I've done things to it. All right. So there's lots of ways to use these beyond just where we start. It's a nicely formed shaped piece of clay that's doing this, but it's in a form where you can modify it very easily. Maybe you don't like the snare part, go to this track, say clear. Maybe I want my kick. Maybe I want that. It's very easy to change and modify, okay? Love this one. So fresh. I just want to start writing to it right now, actually. It's like, dang. Now, in a case like this, where I want to use these fills, but I hear this, this organ sound I don't want for my song I'm going to work on. All you have to do, just mute. So that's it gone. Now when I hit the fills, it's not there. Okay, so shortcuts like that. If you mute something, it mutes it for all of the patterns, because it's like this is this mixer section right here to work with, okay? Ocean wave. OG. Okay, so you can play these so much. Another thing to point out, we did a lot of this, especially NATO. He focused more on this even more than I did, and that is to make sounds for the kick, with the concept being that you've like set them into two frequency domains. You've got the sub, but then the kick that gives the impact that you hear this. The low end is gone. There's a little bit of a punch through with it, but the two together, and the fun thing with doing it that way is you can go to this kick and you could shape it. Right? So that is cool. It works this way also in Contact because I've transferred over the same samples. There. You're out cold, man. So there you go. So much to work with these. I took a weekend track, got really inspired. There you go. Super Macho Drums is equally easy to use and more flexible ultimately in some respects. We can compare between the two. Hey. Pull it up, pull it up. Yeah. Record sales. This is based on a real big hit right now. It's just the way I did this. You've got the sub, the kick, the percussion stuff, and then on F. And this electric piano is in Serum because a lot of these subs that you're hearing were created in Serum and then recorded to become the drum sounds. And so if you go to Serum and you go to the key, this is one reason why I said, you know, I'm just going to make the sounds in Serum because then I can do it as a separate library to get you guys going. So like the keys, Blue Dreaming. No, it's not Blue Dreaming. It's... So if we play it here, you take down, I think I have the reverb set a little differently and the effects a little differently, but from there to, okay. So the same sounds exist where they were made. Okay. Sometimes I'm sad. Again, this groove, if you like Massive Attack, if you like all that kind of chill stuff, it's begging for a groove. So if you take away some of the keyboard stuff, it's great grooves. Again, it's not just for hip hop. There's all sorts of places you can go with these grooves and sounds. So it's kind of fun. This one has hand clap samples from myself and my daughter. She came over here and said, hey, come up here. I need more than one set of hands. And so we stood here in the room and clapped, and then I processed them so that they had the right vibe. Because if you listen to the original track, there's this really nice stuff added to the kick. So and the problem with BreakTweaker is that something like this should not take down your computer, but it does. Say cancel. Like doing that killed my computer. And it's nothing more than just 6 samples. So they've never fixed it. It is the way it is. But that shouldn't be. But if you did the same thing inside of Contact and so forth, it wouldn't do that. Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Just mine. Just a groove. Okay, Streetcar. Okay. Submarine. Again. We had so much fun making the fills. If you've noticed, there's D sharp, E, and F, and each one gets more crazy and insane. When you play the F fill, no guarantee of what you're going to get. Again, house, all sorts of places to go with this. The weekday. We dread the weekday, right? But the groove by itself on C sharp is just dope. I mean, my God. And the way that NATO got this one, it's got the sub, but then up here, this trashy kind of hit. So when you hit them all together, it's like boom. Okay, almost done. Vibes. And boop. How's that for an F fill? And if you don't need the sub, just mute it. Okay, and wonky. And yeah, boy. I think that's the whole library. Yep. Now, these are available, like if we go, yeah, boy, there will be a folder included that has, let's see, we got to get the names. Oh, did I not get to the end? I might not be done. Yeah, I got a little bit more work to do. That's why it's partly why it's not coming out until Tuesday, because I'm not done there. But if I was to say like new funk, there's new funk. There's other variations on new funk as well. So here, let's see. Move this out of the way so I can go over here. Two things to point out. Number one, when you call out this groove, before you get to the MIDI file, the tempo right here is set to 105. If you're working with BreakTweaker and you want to use it with your sequencer, you have to hit the sync button. And now it looks at what this tempo is, and the tempo changes here to match whatever tempo you set this to. Okay? So that's part of it. The MIDI file doesn't have that rule, so it can be whatever your tempo is when you call it up. It will just start playing. Right? And I'm going to be converting and making a whole bunch of additional grooves as MIDI files. I originally did this for Contact, for the Super Macho Drums version of the library, and then I was like, you know, I used the same note assignments identically between the two plugins. So when you get from, let's see, Contact 5 is here. So if we call up, this is new funk. So at the moment, do I have it set so they're here? Urban, new funk. Yes. So they're here. Now, when I play it, if I take this MIDI file and drag it over here, it's going to sound bad. Oh. Right? Because it's an octave off. BreakTweaker has the notes down here. I started an octave higher so that they would fit inside the map of Super Macho Drums. That way I still have the hi-hats and I have all the kicks and other snares, because I'll show you some cool stuff you can do with that. So I've made a variation on this groove, 4K5. There's two folders of MIDI files. There's one that says BT at the end of the name. That's for the BreakTweaker octave lower. If you want to get new funk for Contact, you just take the one from the K5 folder, and now it works. So let's see, let's go. Let's mute this, and it works. Now the reason, let's look at Super Macho Drums for a second. So Super Macho Drums is the drum kit library that I've, don't need that. Oh, what did I do? Oh. I'm trying to get rid of this interface here and shrink it here so you can see it. So the fun with Super Macho Drums is that BreakTweaker has an editing page that you can get to, and you can see these parameters and change them. And that's nice, but it's not very fast. With Super Macho Drums, the whole idea is a ton of power immediately available. So anything you play, you immediately see the filter change, the knobs and everything change for every sound. So if I want this to be darker, I have velocity to filter, so you have to turn this down, and then you can get to where you have full range. Bring up a filter EG. So I could change the sound really quickly. If I want to add reverb, it's just right here. I have another reverb, so there's actually two different types of reverb, and here you can choose from this list of all sorts of different types of weird reverbs. There's delay if you want delay. There's a compressor. There's lo-fi. So if I want to video game this out, it's all available, and whatever I do is only to that one note. So I can have a groove playing. Say I want to play with my snare. I put up this note lock button, which allows you to lock a note. So that way you can play the groove, and it no longer changes. So I can nail exactly how I want it to sound while my whole mix is playing. Go to the kick drum, turn off loop lock, turn on kick lock, note lock. Let's say I want to add a little more punch. Maybe I want to kill the body or expand the body. You have all these controls immediately available for these. On top of the fact that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional kicks and 6 additional snares, including claps and stuff. So if I wanted to, I could embellish this really easily. Let's take the snare and hold down Option. And if I need to, I might need to move that timing a little bit closer. And this hi-hat, let's have this go up. And then let's move it to be downbeat. Uh-oh, what did I do? I moved everything. Oh. There. We might have an exclusive thing happening wrong. Let me see real quick. If we hit the editor and go to the group editor and select by... Yeah, so this should not be set to a group editor. Oops. We're finalizing this stuff as we go, so... I was like, why is it when I had this note assigned to the hi-hat and it was canceling my kick? Now it won't cancel the kick. I don't know if you know this, but if you hit the tool wrench, you can set up so that hi-hats can be exclusive by using this voice channel assign, and there's 128 possible groups. So there's actually this set of hi-hats. Let's get to where you can see a keyboard. Let's go like this. You have to see the keyboard down. Where's the window? No, it's not what I want. Where's the other keyboard? Did I make it go away? I might have made it go away. The step entry keyboard. No, it wasn't that one. Was it? How did I get a keyboard that was showing me? Show keyboard, hide keyboard. There it is. So there's this set of hi-hats. So there's the hi-hats in the group, the actual groove, right? These 6 notes here. That is the samples of OMG. Everything else above that and everything below that is a super macho drum map using super macho drum samples. So you have this additional set of hi-hats on F sharp and A sharp. You have a 909 set up here. And then up high, you have triangles. You have percussion. So we could take this groove and take that and let's quantize that and stick it over here. Let's give me a couple more key. I could do triangles. So you can build on the maps inside of Super Macho Drums really easily. And it's so much fun. I mean, now we could, on top of this, let's... You can add to what's there. Have that for the verses, when you get to the choruses. You can build on it because you have all sorts of cool bassy things, extra shakers, some cool synthy hits like Dead Mouse kind of stuff. So it's really fun. It's really fun to have all of these sounds inside of one interface where it's really easy to go, I want that to be a different pitch. I don't want any, and it's done and off you go. Now, I'm going to get to the customer questions because we're about out of time. Stella had a question. Can you direct me to the drum maps used in your demo? Is it okay? Yeah, that's so Bruce. I'll answer that question. Stella said, I'm interested in purchasing Mega Macho drums or Super Macho drums. I'm not so good at playing my own drum patterns, and I'm looking for that very plugin that will help me. So she has Logic. I think it's he. It's Stella. It's one of those names that go back and forth. If I were to purchase one product, which would work? So Super Macho drums would be the recommended product I would look at for not only all these drum sounds, but the groove player. Like if we go to, let's load up a Mega Macho or Super Drums kit. So we have all the notes to the normal sounds are supposed to be. Actually, let's just do this. Let's go to just even like Beast EDM. This is from Mega Macho drums. Yes, replace it. You have a MIDI groove player over here, and it has all of the grooves that, let's see here. Do I have, I need to do one thing. Sorry about that. I always forget to turn on my do not disturb. Let's see here. What map does Super Macho Drums use? It's a modified general MIDI map. It's similar to the map that I designed for Korg's all the way up through the Kronos. If you take a MIDI file and you transpose it up an octave, it will play. Because it's, and there's detailed information in the documentation, but the F sharps and G sharp and A sharp are your hi-hats. C sharp is a crash. ride cymbal. Let's get where you can see them. The percussion is on the same notes. And what I did for a lot of these Super Macho Drums kits is if I didn't have congas and stuff, I would put sounds that would kind of work in between there. But it's basically a modified General MIDI map. When General MIDI came out, that was during like the O1W or the T, I can't remember, the Triton. I don't think for the Trinity. One of those in there, General MIDI came out. We had to make drum kits that would play to General MIDI. And we had meetings and decided to do a modified kit where the bottom octave would be additional kicks and snares, because we didn't like the idea of being limited on kicks and snares. But starting at B, right here, B1, and then C2 on up would be a General MIDI map. So that's basically the concept behind this library. All of the maps follow that. And the advantage being that when you get to the Groove Player and you go to Groove and you load it, it plays. Go to Pop. Now the way that this works, so you can set it to auto, and if you set it to the little auto light lit up, what happens, it works a lot like Stylus RMX in that when you hit play, it starts, and when you hit stop, it stops. So it will automatically follow your song, so you don't have to synchronize, you don't have to do anything like that. Now if you want, you can get more flexibility if you turn off auto. And then here's where it says MIDI file to DAW. You just click and drag, and it will put the MIDI file that we created, it will copy it into your sequencer. And the nice thing with this, there's a couple things. Right here, these are for note range limits, so you could bring down. And we set it so it works even when playing back MIDI files. Have everything, get rid of the kick and snare by bringing it to the bottom, because the kicks and snares are at the low range. So if you were doing just the high end stuff, you could use these to quickly filter. The other way is, since it's a MIDI file, you now have the ability to look at this and zoom in on the data. This is everything going on in that MIDI file that I programmed. And you can look at this and see quickly the downbeats. You can even play the notes here and say, that's a kick. And if you want, you can hold down Option and arrow up and down while it's playing even. Maybe I don't like this snare. Maybe I don't want this busy. I like that one, but maybe this one. I could go over here to velocity and turn it down. It will only take it down and up so far, you notice, because once it hits the velocity of 127, this doesn't work. If you hold down Option, it will override that. So now you can crank it all to 127, so they're all 127. Or you can bring it down, and they're all now at the same value. If you want, I'm not going to get into tons of logic tricks. There's a ton of things I could show you guys, but we'll do that another time. But the ability to have it as a MIDI file that you've dragged over, and now you can edit it, you can work it. You haven't played anything in. Maybe you want to double the snare, so hold down Option. And the timing seems to be off because I think I dragged a little weird. Bring down the velocity if I want that to be softer. So it's very easy to modify these from where they originally were to. And I just noticed I don't have all of the MIDI files that come with Super Macho Drums. The Radio Ready grooves and these from February 14th of like 2 years ago. That's 2 sets of MIDI files, but there's over like 600 MIDI files included with Super Macho Drums when you download it. Real quickly, let's do, I'll do that in the videos that I do for support. All right. Hey, Tim. Good to see you here, buddy. Big E's computer crashed. Oh no. Any questions? I'm worn out from talking. I'm all fired up. Stella, did that help? Did it kind of explain? You have all these grooves. Also, there's MIDI files all over the place on the internet, and it's very easy to download those. And are the Mega Magic libraries for Serum and Contact similar? They are. Now, the thing is, for Serum, the libraries are just the core libraries. Good. I'm glad. So, with Stella just said that we got a good explanation of things. When you go here to something like Mega Magic Dreams, you have all the core library. That's why they're like $35 instead of the $49 of the other libraries. If you choose DI Dreaming, if you call this up inside a Contact, let's go to a whole different universe than drums for a minute. Mega Magic Dreams, there's all of these additional signature custom patches that are not in Serum. And then these folders here are the core, like DI Dreaming. Yes. And the difference being that with Contact, you have this custom interface that we've built that has 2 convolution reverbs, the delay, the compressor punch. All these things are in Super Macho drums. I love having all these things to work with. So we kept them. You can turn on glitch, which is really fun for... And if you get to the custom, these are using this cool interface to make all sorts of cool... I really want to replace? Yes. Like this is using one of the bell sounds for a dreamy thing. It's using glitch. It's really just a string sample by itself. But glitch lets me do these octave things. So you can do these things beyond just the core library. Hey, oh, Toby did this. So that's the difference. And then when you get to Omnisphere, there's even more variations. And each one's kind of placed to the strengths. This interface has a certain personality. These signature sounds are not the same signature sounds that you find inside of, and maybe it's confusing. I like making patches and I like exploiting each synthesizer for its strengths. And so making it so people that don't have Omnisphere can play with it is mainly the reason why I put it into Contact. If you go Mega Magic Dreams, if you go to Guitar, DI Dreaming, I think Omnisphere still is the best sounding version because of the fact that we were able to use a little bit of compression. We got the EQ. Its engine just plays back samples so nicely. But it's a different sound if you compare this to, oh wait, where are we at? Is that Serum? And then if we go to Contact 5. Oh, let's get rid of these guys real quick because I'm confusing myself. I think. Yeah, so if we go DI Dreaming in here, Guitar. So, not to confuse things, but here's the same sample in 3 different plugins. I should do it and see if you can tell the difference. I won't do that. But here we go, here we go, here we go. Hide, hide, hide. So if, let's see. So this is the contact version. K5 Dreams. Get rid of these additional things that will confuse me otherwise. So here it is in Omnisphere. Here it is in Serum. And here it is in Contact. This has more attack. The compressor here rounded it out a little bit. Where's the Serum? And I think I did velocity to the Serum version, so you could brighten this up even more. But it's almost too bright. Notice that? So the Omnisphere version, you have a whole different set of signature patches at the end. The Z patches, as we used to call them. These are all... Hi. Yes, do you hear me? Make sure it's working. Is sound back? Yeah, my sign language is really weak. I got to work on that. Okay, we're back. Okay. So yeah, there's 3 versions of these libraries, mainly just to cater to people that might have one and not the others. And they each have strengths. There's sounds inside of the Contact 5 version that are really cool that are nowhere else. It's really cool to take the same samples and wait, where am I at? K5. You know, this doesn't exist in the Omnisphere version. So it's fun to have different variations. It's like, same thing as with photography, because I do photography a lot, so I always compare it to things. But yes, things crash. I mean, there's a lot of memory being exchanged here, and I don't know what happened. I'm doing a live stream. I'm pushing the computer pretty hard for an hour and a half straight. So, you know, shifting that much memory around and playing through BreakTweaker, which completely kills my computer, and it doesn't crash. I mean, you know, it's kind of a miracle I can do this and talk to all you people around the world all at one time. When you bake in the Mega Magic, how long is a typical sample to allow for reverb tails? Well, the length of the sample doesn't matter. The reverb is typically like around 12 seconds. A lot of times I will purposefully take samples that I've created and then decay them a little faster than they normally would fade out so that the reverb takes over. It's really hard to say. I don't know. I don't think I have my... Oh, I do. I do have all my different Mega Magic settings. So if we wanted to, check this out. Let's do this. 'Cause I'm happy to share this information. Other people would not want to do this probably, but I don't mind. So if we go to Omnisphere, let's go to the viola library. Mega Magic Viola, which came out so nice and people are loving so much. If we go to the Power Marcato Dry, actually we need to go down here past the pads to the strings to just the Marcato sample Dry. And then let's see if I blow up my computer or not. I hope not. Channel strip settings, Mega Magic Viola. Here's the Mega Magic Final. This. I used 3 different reverbs along with Elysia, which is just really nice. It brings up the body of the sound after the reverb, and the precision limiter to give it a little extra boost. But the RC48, the Valhalla, and Black Hole from Eventide. So you could take a dry sample, do that, and in the end what you end up with is this in the sample. So that's the idea. So anything that has the MM means I took this and then fed it into that reverb train. It just becomes this beautiful wash. But it's different than reverb. If I was to do this, if I was to use, I've shown this many, many times. If you use motion dry fast and call up that Mega Magic Final and then play notes, listen to how muddy it gets really quickly. It just becomes mud real fast because there's all this information that's being, the previous notes are still sustaining when you add new notes. What's really cool with this, and what I'm really happy to do with this, is that these notes, if I play new notes now, they don't interact with the other notes. So it becomes this really wonderful . So yeah, this is the latest library. It's the first time it's been on sale at 40% off for this weekend. Love these guys. Use this with the urban grooves and life will be good. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go to myself. Is that MM Final Channel Strip something we have in the Mega Magic libraries we've purchased? I want to use it with live guitar. No, you don't want to use it with live guitar. Like I told you, it falls apart so quickly. Let's see, if we go initialize this multi, let's call it just a patch. of the JC120 guitar. It's a very specialized thing. JC120. Oh, guitar. Huh? From all, let's just say mute. Let's see. I have something in the guitars. Oh, here, Fender. Here we go. So let's say, here's one of the mute samples dry. If you were to call up that channel strip setting and then have your friend play guitar on it, it'll be mud. Reset. Plus, you need to have ownership of UAD effects and 3 different reverbs. So I have not made those for sale. No. Hey, Bernie. Welcome. All right. Well, I'm going to go. Any other questions? Oh, we were going to talk. Let's talk real quickly about this other question another customer gave me. This was, let's see here. I'm going to do this. Let's copy. New document, paste. And let's go over here. So this is a situation a lot of you guys find yourselves in because you're just getting into music, new to this. I am a young age of 71, and I think that is so awesome. I'm a young age of 54, and I'm going to be doing hip-hop when I'm 71, man. You just wait. Youthfulness is still can't sit still. I'm using Contact, Ultimate 9, and Logic Pro X. I think I can learn from you. It's more real. So where do I start? And your video for Contact will be my first. I want to do orchestration for document as film, games, music. I am saving up my money for real orchestra libraries soon. I love Mega Macho drums. Don't know their price, but I want to learn. Please get back to me. Logic Pro X, 16 gigabytes of RAM. I know I'm going to have to buy Omnisphere. It seems to be able to do in the rhythm with your timing. Do I need to buy or purchase an upgrade for my Contact to follow? Also, would you be advised to get an external hard drive? So if you just have Contact, I would definitely suggest upgrading to the latest version of Contact. They've added new libraries and new things with each library update that they have done. And so that will give you a whole bunch of different sounds to work with. Omnisphere is there when you're ready. It's a great thing to add. There's so much you can do when you have it. There's a lot you can do inside of Native Instruments tools. So spend some time learning what you have. So many people have this gear lust thing where it's about just getting everything that everybody has. And I could just use Native Instruments plugins and just make patches just for those and be totally happy. There's nothing like Reactor. There's nothing like Contact 5 as far as being able to put your own sounds in, do all sorts of things to them, all these different libraries. I love seeing people introducing new libraries with new custom interfaces that they sounds like they've invented in their advertising, and there is nothing they can invent. Contact 5 has been the same for 2 years. As far as hard drives, it doesn't hurt to have an external hard drive. It puts a lot of taxation on your computer to be like, if you're recording any audio and playing back audio, plus you're streaming all of these different sounds from different libraries into Contact. Although a lot of it comes down to what you're going to do music-wise and what, if you're playing live guitar and audio tracks and stuff, as well as streaming, it doesn't hurt to take some of that load off the system computer hard drive. and put it to an external hard drive. So I would definitely say that that would be advisable. Make sure you get a 7200 RPM hard drive. If you do, even better are the SSD hard drives, because there's nothing moving. There's no speed up time to wake up. And it's basically the memory like out of a, like an iPad or so forth, in that it's immediate and transfers very fast and quickly. So definitely look at hard drives and definitely look at upgrading Contact. There's a lot you can do, and I'm going to be exploiting this in this year. Myself and some other people on my team are working on things that are just for Logic, just for Ableton Live, just for other things. There's this whole list of all of these synthesizers that do amazing things, and you don't forget you have these. So many people immediately want to go to third-party plugins and they forget, there's something like Sculpture. This doesn't exist. There's some Applied AAS has some things that are kind of like this and are actually more complex than this. But this is one of my favorite synthesizers. There's no other synthesizer that does. And when you get down to their the modeled bells and stuff, these things are. Turn on blow. It's disabled right now. Turn it on. There's so much to do here. So we're looking at all sorts of options to support these DAWs, because there's people just want to have this huge list of plugins. And don't be a jack of all trades. Make sure that you spend time learning the plugins that you have in your hand, right? Okay, that's one of the suggestions I would suggest. Yeah. When money starts spinning for music, also I throw object delay and movement on them as well. Yeah, Valhalla's reverbs are very nice and different than what you will find anywhere else. Their shimmer verb is really cool. Atmosphere 2 is like Hotel California. You can never leave. Yeah. So everybody's going to have an opinion on this. Some people say go Atmosphere 2 and then upgrade Contact. You just want to make sure that what you have works with the current computer systems and so forth that you're working with. So whatever works there. All right. The day is done. Have a wonderful 3-day weekend. I hope to do the same. I feel like chasing waterfalls this weekend, and all sorts of stuff. So UVI Falcon, I have Falcon, and it has a lot of capabilities. Its interface takes a lot to understand and get used to. It's not I don't want to say anything bad about anything, but it doesn't really bring a lot new to the table, and it doesn't have the support that other things have. So, yeah, you guys, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh, good. Stella and Beth. Good. Okay. Got it straight. Good to hear. Don't forget, 3-day weekend sale until Monday night. Monday night at midnight, it's off. And then Tuesday, new urban grooves are coming out in multiple flavors. So I thank you as always. Yeah, Tacoti Falls is great. As always, I thank you for your support. Hope this helps. It's very fun to do these every weekend. I can't believe it's been like a couple years and I still can think of stuff to do. Luckily, I have new libraries coming out to show and stuff, but we keep going. Keep being strong. All right. I'm not going to even do a shout out this time because it's so late. I want to get out of here. I'm hungry. So peace to all of you around the world. And one last thing. The live streams will be on YouTube on my video feed for 1 week. And then I'm moving all the live streams to a playlist because there's just way too many live streams listed in the video. And so I'm going to tuck those away into one big playlist. Just so you know, that's an announcement of something I'm going to be working on this week. All right. Peace, fat beats, happy times, be well. Happy Memorial Day. God bless America. See you guys later. Bye.